Missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Thank you, Kershaw. Pitches a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. A walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Shohei Ohtani. Is Shohei Ohtani already the best player in Major League Baseball history? Could the Dodgers pull off a trade for elite Oakland A's reliever Mason Miller? We got our big takeaways from a week that was. Also, butane is back. Walker Buehler makes his first start since 2022 tonight against the Marlins. All that more coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddie. Monkey magic.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? Doug McKain here, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. And if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you really want to support the channel, hit that like button. Also, a reminder, yesterday we hit 90,000 subscribers, and all thanks to you guys, we are giving away a Tyler Glasnow authentic number 31 Dodgers jersey. And if you want to be eligible to win, we're going to announce the winner tomorrow on the morning edition of Dodgers Dugout Live. So be sure to tune in for that. If you want to win, all you have to do is comment Tyler Glasnow down below. If you commented Tyler Glasnow in the past, if you comment done the past, you'll be eligible to win as well. Also, we're doing tons of giveaways. We're not announcing it yet, but a massive, the biggest giveaway we've ever done is coming when we hit 100,000 subscribers. You're absolutely going to want to be eligible for that one. So be sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell, because when you hit the notification bell, then you know when we drop videos, so you have more chances to win. So definitely drop for that. Of course, we start every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live with our poll question of the show. Today, I asked you guys over on the X, will Shohei Ohtani go down as the best baseball player of all time? Currently, 83% of you are saying yes. 17% of you are saying no. I don't know who that 17% is. Probably Angels fans, probably Blue Jays fans, probably Astros fans, probably descendants of Babe Ruth or someone like that. But Shohei Ohtani is putting on a show for Major League Baseball. He's putting on a show for Dodgers fans. And first, we're going to get into that in a second. Got some thoughts on Shohei and why he changed not just this Dodgers organization, but the entire sport of baseball, and why what we've seen from Shohei Ohtani should make you feel better about what happened in the last couple of seasons, because these aren't those Dodgers anymore. We have entered a new era in Dodger baseball. But first, of course, let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation from. Give me those cities. Drop those down below so I can give you guys a shout out. Also, my super producer, Mr. Antonio, he is looking for your comments of the show. Anytime you guys drop a comment, we're including it. We're going to feature on the screen. Any super chats, we're featuring them on the screen. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Tonio, he's a gamer, okay? He could be on the 15-day IL because he has a finger injury. Listen to him yesterday. Got to put him on blast. Look at this swing by Tonio. No boom. That's a no boom. That's a... It's a whiff.
Dude, that was so bad, dude. It was one of those nights last night. I was wearing my checkered Vans too. I didn't have my jersey. It was bad. And take a look at this pitch right here. Just a swing, a wave, and a miss. So embarrassing.
And a miss. How's the finger doing? You got cortisone shot? You ready to roll?
Oh, it's hurting, but I'm here for everybody.
He's here, guys. And look, we can play some highlights too. I mean, this guy leaves the yard. He hits bombs as well, but that Look, it happens, okay? It happens, and he's got that big daddy hack right there, right? I mean, you're swinging for the fences. He does shorten that stroke, maybe a little bit, the two-strike approach right there, Tonio.
Yeah, I just can't drink the night before anymore, man. I'm not who I used to be in my 20s.
The more you drink, the better you are in softball. That's all I got to say. But yeah, let's dive into those comments down below, and then we're going to dive into our first topic here on a Monday edition of Dodgers Dugout Live. So excited, so amped, so fired up for the return of Walker Buehler. It's going to be electric tonight at Dodgers Stadium. So excited. We got BC in the chat breaking down Ohtani's stats. We got Tommy, we got Tammy in the chat. We got Jose Villanueva. I'm from Washington, but came to Blue Heaven Paradise. I was at the game yesterday. We got Mason. Must have been a Trinan slider. Yeah, Trinan slider. Absolutely filthy. His stuff moves more than a military family. We're going to talk some Blake Trinan, but let's dive right into it. Now, first things first, though, have to give a shout out to our friends over at BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your summer sports this season, from Major League Baseball to golf to the NBA to the NHL playoffs. All the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. And where the show's going to start is with Shohei Ohtani, the hottest baseball player on the planet. His bat is hitting everything hard, okay? You could pretty much fry an egg off that bat right now. He's hotter than the devil's armpit. He's the best player on planet Earth. And Shohei Ohtani had himself a week. He, of course, is the player of the week for your Los Angeles Dodgers because he was outstanding once again. This week alone, 11 hits in his 21 at-bats. He goes 11 for 21. He slashed 524, 583, 952 with 7 RBI and 6 runs. And I remember before the season started, people were telling me Shohei Ohtani can't win the MVP because Shohei Ohtani is going to be just DHing. He's not going to be pitching. You're not going to get that defensive war. You're not going to get that pitching war. So of course he can't win the MVP as the designated hitter. Well, guess what? He's on pace for 10.8 WAR. He's on pace for 10.8 WAR this season. As a DH only, he's third in all of Major League Baseball in WAR. He's trailing Mookie Betts and Bobby Witt Jr. So Mookie's at the top with 3.1 WAR. And look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If Mookie plays shortstop the entire season at even an average level and is able to maintain his offensive numbers, hits 30-plus home runs, is right at the top of the league when it comes to batting average, weighted runs created plus, slugging OPS, things like that, he's going to run away with that award. That's going to be Mookie's award. And he'll be just the second player in Major League Baseball history to win the MVP in both leagues. Hasn't been done since Frank Robinson. But with the year that Shohei Ohtani is having, there's absolutely a world where Shohei Ohtani can win the MVP as just a DH. It's never happened for a player that's just the DH. You had Ortiz, David Ortiz, Big Pop. He got some top 5 finishes at one point, but we never seen a guy just exclusively as the DH win that award. And you look at the week he had. I mean, he had 2 home runs yesterday. He had a home run on Saturday. He went into yesterday's game with a 2 WAR, and then he already bumped that up to 2.4. Okay? This isn't normal. This is a player that's on an absolute heater. And I'm reminded of when Jose Mota was on the show last week, and he was already having a ton of success. And I asked Jose Mota, I said, well, on the locked on Ohtani scale, how locked in is he right now? On the locked in Ohtani scale, where is he at? Is he at a 10? Is he at an 8? He said it was at a 7.5. It was at a 7.5. And Jose, he hit me up yesterday and said, this is it. This is when he's truly all the way locked in. And he leads all of Major League Baseball with 98 total bases. 98 total bases so far, leads all of Major League Baseball. He's on pace for 441 total bases. That would be good for 4th all time in Major League Baseball history. He leads all of MLB with 25 extra base hits. He's on pace for 113 XBHs this season. That would be third most all time. He's on pace for 45 home runs and 32 doubles. It would be just the third 45-plus home run and 30-plus stolen base season in Major League Baseball history. So he's on pace for 45 home runs, 32 stolen bases. So not quite a 40-40 season, but imagine a 45-32 season. Like I said, it would be just the third 45 home run, 30-plus stolen base season in the history of the sport. So these are historic numbers. And we just have never seen a player do this at this level this consistently. And I've seen people out there saying, oh, he's the modern day Babe Ruth. Stop disrespecting Shohei Ohtani by comparing him to Babe Ruth. This is no slight to Babe Ruth. Look, he was hitting 400, 500-foot home runs off of 82-mile-per-hour fastballs after downing 20 hot dogs and 30 beers, right? I love me the mythic quality of Babe Ruth, but he was never simultaneously pitching and hitting at the same time. And yes, Ohtani's not pitching this season, but even in years past, when he was pitching at an ace level and performing at the plate at an MVP level, he's a true elite hitter, and we're seeing it once again. My favorite thing about yesterday, though, was Kirsten Watson said during the broadcast that she asked Shohei Ohtani, because it was Cinco de Mayo, what his favorite type of margarita is. Shohei's answer, he said pizza, okay? He's our wholesome king, okay? That's what Shohei Ohtani is, okay? Never change. He said margarita. This guy doesn't drink margaritas. This guy doesn't drink beer. This guy's all baseball 24/7, 365. And Sarah Lang's tweet out, his 25 extra base hits are the most in a player's first 35 games with the Dodgers since at least 1901, okay? This is the best start we've ever seen at the plate from any hitter in the history of this organization. In my opinion, there's no doubt about it. I've seen enough. This is the most talented player in the history of this sport, okay? This is the most talented player currently, the most talented player ever. There was never a guy, there was never a guy that you could say did it at this level. It just never was the case. Just look at his baseball savant page. Can we take a look here? Just look at that. It looks like a murder scene. It looks like a murder scene. There's so much red. And we just have never, 100th percentile in expected weighted on base average, 100th percentile in expected batting average, 100th percentile in expected slug, 100th percentile in barrel percentage. This is beautiful. Hang this up in the Louvre, okay? Because this is a player who's at the peak of his powers, in my opinion, playing better at the plate, performing better at the plate than any hitter in the history of this sport. So one thing I want to say today is I'm just so happy that I'm alive during the Shohei Ohtani era. I'm so happy that I'm covering this team, that I'm a fan of this team, and we're able to witness this in real time. If I could get a time machine, I would definitely want to see a little more of Michael Jordan's prime. I would want to go back and experience those early days of Michael Jordan, the 80s and the 90s. I would want to go back and watch Muhammad Ali. I would want to see some of these great players, some of these great athletes at the peak of their powers. And you get to witness that every single day. And another big takeaway from Shohei Ohtani's last week was he comes through on the Friday game with runners in scoring position in extra innings to tie that game to set up that Andy Pages walk-off shot. And I could have sworn I was told by a lot of people on the X and people out there that Shohei Ohtani isn't clutch. He didn't have enough situations with the Angels where he had to worry about situational hitting. What'd you see during that at-bat? He was able to extend and get the barrel of the bat outside the zone and make something happen. So he comes through in the clutch in a big game against a big team. And I think for the first time, we really saw the WBC version of Shohei Ohtani. We saw WBC Shohei against the Braves this weekend. Of course, everyone's talking about the rap battle right now. You got Kendrick Lamar, you got Drake, and Kendrick's line that kind of started this whole thing all, where he says, F the big three, it's just big me. I think that applies to Shohei Ohtani. It's just big him. And as much as I love Mookie Betts, as much as I love Freddie Freeman and Will Smith, No one is on this guy's level. He's in a class all by himself. I asked Mookie Betts who are his Mount Rushmore top 4 players of all time, and he already had Shohei Ohtani included in that list. So what are your thoughts on Shohei? I think for me, it's don't bring up what happened last postseason. Don't bring up what happened in the postseason before that, because you can't do it. This guy's in the lineup. Everything changes. It's a new era of Dodger baseball, and I think that he's going to change the Dodgers' fortunes because he's so talented. We got Roy Estrada. Ohtani will win MVP as the DH, elbow, cough, cough. We got a $20 super chat. I'm going to show you some love right here. First comment of the show, $20. This is everyone's weekly reminder that the best hitter in baseball is an injured Dodgers pitcher. You're the best, D-Mac. Oh, yeah, whack 'em sticks. Another fire take for that. Let's not forget, as good as he is, the man is an ace level pitcher. Okay. Barry Bonds didn't do that, right? There's this myth about Babe Ruth and how he performed. And when he was with the Red Sox, Babe Ruth was a really good pitcher, right? But for a season, he had half the at-bats as a position player and half the innings as a starting pitcher. He never did both full time for a sustained amount of time. So I never want to hear Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth ever included in the same sentence again. And I love the Babe. I love the history of the sport and everything that he's done for this sport, and you got to give him credit. I mean, he broke his own home run record every single year. Babe Ruth is an icon in the game, but Shohei Ohtani is without question the most talented player this sport has ever seen. But next big takeaway I want to get into is this Dodgers team, they're right back up there as being the best team in baseball. The Phillies, they had a great April. The Phillies have started the year really nicely. But your Dodgers have won 11 of their last 13 games. They won 5 of 6 games. I'll give myself a little let's go Dodgers for that. They won 5 of 6. The only loss was during that B delay. And you look at the record so far now, they're at 23-13. They're on a 104 win pace. They're a game and a half behind the Phillies in the National League and for the best record in baseball. They're up 5.5 games from the San Diego Padres. So they're building a cushion there. They've scored 197 runs. That's 5.47 runs per game. They've given up 3.72 runs per game. So they're a team that is right up there for the best teams in baseball. And I know my big takeaway here is this. Guess what? Guess what, Tonio? People were freaking out a couple weeks ago. And I think we know now the lesson there is you can have 10 bad days in this sport. You can have a bad couple of weeks in this sport, but guess what? Doesn't mean your season is cooked, okay? You can still be the best team in baseball and have a down week or two, and that's what the Dodgers had when they lost multiple series in a row. They had lost 6 of 9 games, but they have made it all the way back, and they're winning games really in a complete fashion. I think yesterday it really stood out to me was not just Ohtani going off again, not just James Paxton, who we'll talk about, who had his best start of the season. It was the defense. Kike Hernandez starting at third base makes that great play, and he's right on the edge of the grass. It was a great dig there by Freddie Freeman. Teoscar Hernandez throwing guys out. They were trying to, when Olsen tried to stretch it to a double. Just the overall defense yesterday was so much better than what we've seen. Max Muncy's improved defensively. Mookie Betts continues to get better and better. He's making it look routine, the backhand plays, the throwing. So just collectively, the defense has been stronger too. And last week, they go 5-1, score 6.5 runs per game. So, hey, to all your Dodgers doomer friends out there that hit you up and text you whenever they go on a little skid, remind them you can have a down week. You can have a down 2-week stretch. But when you have this much talent and this much depth, it's going to come around. We got Justin Lamas. Bobby Miller will only be the second most important Miller on the club by August. I see what you did right there. We'll talk about Mason Miller. David E. Walker Buehler going fishing today, hooking a marlin. That's a fire take. That's a fire take right there. I see him do a finish because he finished the fish right there. Like I was saying with Buehler. I mean, he's ready. He's ready to go. Moonlight, have you noticed when Mookie's in a mini slump, Shohei gets hot and vice versa? Moonlight, you know, I've been meaning to kind of ask Mookie and Shohei, hey, do you guys feed off each other, right? But you're right. It does feel like of course, Ohtani was a little slow out of the gates and Mookie was on fire out of the gates. And then you're seeing that flip right now. Just imagine when both these guys are feeling it at the same time. That is going to be game over. Okay, that's going to be the cheat code right now. We got on ULAN over on YouTube. I can't imagine if we got Ohtani the first time around. It hurts to think about, but absolutely, look, that's more the fact that you didn't have the designated hitter there in the National League. We got Wilkevin, Eugene, Max Muncy looking good. A little fire emoji right there. Yeah, give Max Muncy credit. We're going to talk about his 3 home run game, the improved defense, and there's no doubt about it. We got Jorge saying Outman needs to be traded. Outman, we need to upgrade from him. We got DS, can't have a down October every year. Yeah, sometimes the tide has to turn and your fortunes have to change. And I think this absolutely is going to be the year. It's just about health. Please, baseball gods, let this rotation stay healthy. Let this offense stay healthy. We got rake and bake. Eventually, we need to have a guy at a permanent position and guys at permanent positions. Yeah, I mean, I think that you've seen less platooning. Pat Flynn, Yarbrough is our best closer while Phillips is gone. Pat Flynn's a fire take right there. Here's some fire take right there. We caught the Bravos in a good slump. They're glad they're out of LA. Ray Soto, yeah, I think they've lost 6 of 8 heading into this series. They had the best record in baseball, but that certainly changed after getting swept. Break out the broomsticks. Swept the Braves. You got to love it. Shohei is going to shatter the Dodgers record books. Home runs, RBIs, and hits going to make it hard for the future Japanese-born players to break his MLB records. Absolutely. BT Fouls, I got the day off for Buehler. So, hey, it's not Buehler's day off. It's Buehler's days on. But at BT Fouls, got the day off. So there you go. Fire take right there. So next big takeaway is we're talking about James Paxton. Let's talk about James Paxton real quick. Goes 6 2/3 yesterday. Gave just 1 run on 5 hits, had 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. This is the best kind of pitcher you can have as your back of the rotation guy. This is an ideal number 4 or number 5 in your rotation. Why? Because even when he struggles, even when the walks were up, he was still eating innings. And yesterday, you saw a different version of James Paxton. James Paxton was out there and you saw him working the bottom of the zone. You saw him working the top of the zone. You saw him going with that 4-seam fastball at an increased rate, and the walks were down. Just 2 walks yesterday for James Paxton, and we have seen him struggle with the command all season long. And that's the big difference. If James Paxton is pounding the strike zone and attacking that zone, he is going to be a Tyler Anderson type, an Andrew Heaney type, and not a Noah Syndergaard type. And what I was saying a couple days ago is this is the real James Paxton today than what we saw for the most part this season, because for his career, he has a 7.8% walk rate. The highest it's ever been this season was 9.8% back in 2015. This year, it was almost at 20% heading into yesterday's start, 19.3% before yesterday's start. And he led all of Major League Baseball with 22 walks and 25 2/3 innings. Like I said, so many walks, my dog's getting jealous. But that version of James Paxton was the Tyler Anderson, was the Andrew Heaney. So if he can find his command, he can absolutely have that kind of year. And it remains to be seen. Does he spend the entire year in the active rotation? That's kind of my next big question with James Paxton, because he's dealt with stuff. He dealt with the knee injury last year with the Boston Red Sox. Anytime you got lower body stuff, that can impact the mechanics. And with Walker Buehler returning, who you're going to see them option Gus Varlin and Nabil Krismat's a guy who could get moved. So that's the play there. But when Bobby Miller gets healthy, when some of these other guys get healthy, does James Paxton get a couple weeks off here and there dealing with something? That most likely is going to be the play. And like I said, if he can pound the zone, you're basically getting a really, really solid number 4, number 5 starter at a really discounted rate there. So you'll love it. But down below in the comment section, could Blake Treinen be the key piece that no one's talking about? So next big takeaway from yesterday, next big takeaway, this is definitely very positive, is Blake Treinen looked great. Blake Treinen absolutely mesmerized with his performance, and you saw the flashes. You saw that wiffle ball. You saw the wiffle ball, that turbo sinker, the slider. Said it before, I say it again. His stuff moves more than a military family, and it's unfair. It's unfair to be able to get that much movement on your pitches. And if you look at the way he performed yesterday, he looked really good. Yesterday was the Blake Treinen that gives you optimism. And the velocity was still down, but still averaged 95.7 on the sinker, 85.2 on the slider, The cutter was at 91.5%. He threw that cutter primarily. He threw the cutter 55% of the time, the sinker 18%, the slider 18%, and that four-seam fastball just 9%. That's really the trend in Major League Baseball. You're seeing a lot less four-seam fastball up in the zone, but even when it is used, it's typically down in the zone. But that version of Blake Trinan is going to help this team in a big way. That's high leverage Blake. That's the guy that we saw a couple years ago reestablish himself as one of the best relievers in all of Major League Baseball. And look, he was coming back off that injury where he got hit off the comebacker and it hurt his lung and he was injured with the lung injury. It's not like it was an arm injury or anything like that. So I'm very optimistic as long as he can stay healthy. Blake Trinan, can you imagine if Blake Trinan can perform anywhere near the level that he was performing at a couple of seasons ago when he was one of the best in the game? Imagine that. And then you get Evan Phillips, who hurt his hamstring. It caught his pants, caught on his cleat. He had a hamstring injury, but he told reporters yesterday that it was minor and that he should be back pretty soon. But Blake Trinan, imagine if you get 2.25 ERA version of Blake Trinan, right? Imagine if you get one of the best relievers in the sport, because he was certainly that, and very, very optimistic about what we saw. Do you guys think it's sustainable though? I see people out there saying that, oh, he's just going to go back to the IL at some point. He looks strong. He looks healthy, and he looks like he's ready to go. But let's read some comments about Blake Trinan down below. We got Roy Estrada, 2 players that need to be benched. Outman and CT3, don't play them during the Padres series. Matthew Weig, the show is already heading to the Hall of Fame as a hitter, and his pitching for the next 5 to 10 years will go down as the GOAT Dodger and MLB player. So you heard it first. Fire take right there. So we got Pages plays from One Eye Dragon. Denny Cortez, Pages needs a new number ASAP. You're going to see him get a new number pretty soon, hopefully. Mitchell Hopkins, I told my teacher that I was flying to a funeral so I would have to miss a test. I'm really flying to a Dodgers game. Okay, you're getting a bro, but I love it. You got to do what you got to do, okay? You got to do what you've got to do. Jay Bullet, CT3 hitting like James Bond, 0.07. Okay, it's a finish right there. You guys are killing me with that one. BC Freeman always crushes the Braves. Love to see it. What's up, Justin Kim 2000? We got, we need Choi. Let's go down here a little bit. Trinan plays in the Xbox Series S, LOL. Dustin 390, or Nando 390. Dustin May will be this team's Mason Miller. Yeah, I talked to Dustin May at the Blue Diamond Gala. He's feeling good. He's making progress. And as long as there's no setbacks, we should see him towards the end of August and in September. But you're looking at, like you said, a reliever role right there. You also had Clayton Kershaw throwing off a mound on Friday for the first time. So that's encouraging stuff as well. You have Brusdar Graterol, hopefully going to be back at some point during the summertime. You have Blake Trinan already on the way back. So just think about this. And this is my next big takeaway, is as great as this team is offensively, ultimately it comes down to starting pitching. It comes down to the bullpen, and the pitching is getting it done. That is the difference in this stretch. And that doesn't include Bobby Miller, doesn't include Clayton Kershaw, doesn't include Dustin May or Emmett Sheehan or Walker Buehler or Brusdar Graterol, Blake Trinan, Evan Phillips, Brazier, Kyle Hurt. All these guys have been hurt to different degrees, and they're still going out there and putting up zeros. Joe Kelly's been phenomenal lately. Evan Phillips, before the injury, he, of course, was fantastic. But the last 12 games for the Dodgers, they have a 1.82 combined ERA. That's first in all of Major League Baseball. So that tells you right there that, got to give them some love right there, that if you want to win this sport, you have to go out there and pitch and put up zeros, because offense is going to slump at times. Pitching with consistency, you're going to win a ton of games. But next big takeaway is Mason Miller for the Oakland A's is a guy that could potentially have a massive impact on the postseason. Will it be for the Dodgers? Will it be for another team? And a lot of you have been asking me about Mason Miller. And for starters, yes, this guy's unreal. Mason Miller is putting up video game numbers so far this season. The four-seam fastball, you're seeing it at 100, 101, 102. No one's throwing harder than Mason Miller, the Oakland A's talented 25-year-old reliever. The strikeout rate for Mason Miller in 12 games is 53.7%. 53.7%. He has a 1.26 ERA. He has a negative FIP, okay? This guy so far has been the most dominant reliever to start the 2024 season. Now, the big question is, can the Dodgers make a move for him? Because, look, you want him, but you can't have him, right? What did Rob Pelinka said? You can't buy a house that's not for sale, right? Is he going to be for sale? Are we going to be able to get Mason Miller? And I think it comes down to, one, do the Oakland A's really want to trade some long-term pieces? Because yes, they're the Oakland A's, and yes, they do trade off their pieces, but it's when they start to have to pay them millions of dollars, right? He hasn't even hit arbitration yet. He won't hit arbitration until 2026. He's under team control for 5 years. He's pre-arbitration. So it's pretty simple. The more team control a player's under, the more prospect capital it's going to require to obtain said player. So to even get the Oakland A's to answer that 626 phone number from Andrew Friedman, it's going to require 1, possibly 2 top 10 prospects. That is how impactful Mason Miller is. And when you factor in the fact that he's making less than $1 million, he's making $740,000 this season. So the Oakland A's, they don't have to be in a rush to sell him off. But having said that, why would they do it? Well, there's the risk involved. And I hate to put this out in the ether, because I treat saying TJ, it's like Voldemort from Harry Potter. You don't say it, right? You can't say the name. But if you look at how hard he throws, he's literally the hardest throwing player in baseball. He's in the 100th percentile. He's averaging 100.7 miles per hour on his four-seam fastball. And if you're the Oakland A's, he's 6'5", big dude. If you're the Oakland A's, do you say, there's the injury risk, and the second he goes down with an injury, well, his value is going to drop. Do you want to get ahead of that if you're Oakland and try to collect as many long-term assets as you can for players that you think are going to be able to be attractive for other teams out there? So that's kind of the big question I have. Is Mason Miller available? 1, like I said, you can't buy a house that's not for sale. And 2, there's the inherent risk of trading for the most volatile position that there is to trade for, really in any sport, right? No player, no position has as many high highs and low lows as relievers in Major League Baseball. So you have to really, really assume, and you have to truly believe that this guy is not just a one-year wonder. And with the stuff like that, let's be honest. You're throwing 100 miles per hour, okay? Stuff like that is going to play up. It's just a matter of staying healthy. And if you're the Dodgers, do you really want to go out there and trade top prospects for a 25-year-old pitcher that's pre-arbitration, that doesn't have postseason experience? It makes you wonder, because the Dodgers aren't a team that typically, 1, likes to spend on relievers, 2, likes to give top prospect capital up for relievers, and 3, likes to acquire relievers that are even under any more than 1 or 2 years of team control, whether it be pre-arbitration, during arbitration, or just signing contracts. The Dodgers like to identify relievers that are having a really good year that year, or ones that they think they can change and make them have good years for that particular year, like they did last year with Ryan Brazier, like they did the year before that with Chris Martin, right? And then once the season's over, they're gone, right? In the case of Ryan Brazier, they brought him back because they thought he was going to be effective. Again, I still think he could, because Ryan Brazier was starting to look more like the Ryan Brazier that we saw before he had that calf injury. Last 3 appearances, he was really, really good. So that to me is the biggest question. Is he become available? Are they willing to trade the top prospects? And 3, is it too big of a risk for such a win-now team to trust a 25-year-old fireballer in those situations because, look, big league hitters, they can time a bullet. So I think the Dodgers are probably going to wait a little longer and evaluate and assess which relievers are having good years, which ones are on expiring deals, and then go out there and pursue them. And those are the kind of guys they're going to trade for, the Tanner Scotts of the world, if he picks it up. I would love to have Mason Miller. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It'd be electric. Mason Miller is absurd. He's fantastic. This guy is throwing flames this season. But those are just kind of the factors behind it. But if he does truly become available and the Oakland A's are willing to trade him, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see the Dodgers pursue him. So next big takeaway, you guys bring up Chris Taylor. Wasn't a great year. Well, it hasn't been a great year, and it wasn't a great week for CT3. So that's definitely one of the not positive takes. 3 up, 3 down, that's a down. Chris Taylor goes 1 for 6 on the week. He's hitting .074, has a 2 weighted runs created plus, so his bat is 98% below league average. So 24 games, 66 plate appearances. So not a good week for Chris Taylor. I still stand true that I find it hard to believe that they would DFA him. I think a Phantom IL stint is more in his future. And then Gavin Lux. How about a positive take for Gavin Lux? Slowly, very slowly, he is starting to look better at the plate. He's hitting .193, still under the Euchre line. It's the Bob Euchre line. It's not the Mendoza line. Mendoza didn't like it. He also didn't hit it. And Euchre hit exactly 200. And on the season, Gavin Lux hitting .193 with a 39 weighted runs created plus. Friday against the Braves, he had that single that would have been an RBI. It would have scored Pajes, but he got thrown out at the plate. And yeah, I mean, he's been better of late. He was hitting .318 in his last 6 games with a double. Only issue is he only played in 3 games last week. He was getting platooned, so he's not in there against left-handed pitchers. But things are trending in the right direction, so I want to give him credit, guys. Like I said, I like to give credit when it's due. I just like to give you the truth. I like to keep it 100 on this show, and that's what you're going to get here on Dodgers Dugout Live. But coming up next, guys, we're going to talk about Walker Buehler. And also, I got my high 5. You're not going to want to miss this. Top 5 plays of the week. And then we're also going to answer all of your questions. That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live. What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. I'm here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel for all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, live streams, and more all year long. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to help the channel out, smash that like button. Also, you will not be eligible for any of our giveaways unless you are subscribed to the channel. So all you need to do to be eligible for all of our giveaways is just make sure that you are subscribed. We just gave away a brand new authentic Mookie Betts jersey valued at over $350. And we got tons of giveaways coming this offseason. So be sure to be subscribed so you are eligible to win. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and please subscribe. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. If you haven't yet, by the way, be sure to subscribe to the channel and comment "done" down below or Siler Glass now down below so you're eligible to win. We just hit 90,000, 90K subs. All thanks to you guys out there. And like I said, this is the year of the fan here at Dodgers Nation. Tons of surprises, tons of giveaways. Once we hit 100K, we're doing our biggest and best giveaway ever. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to dive into some of your comments about what we talked about. We got Braves Beta is somewhere crying. Absolutely finish him. He absolutely is. I'm going to take a sip of Braves Beta's tears. Yeah, y'all forgetting Vesia has our best ERA other than Phillips. He's trended in the right direction as well. Roy Estrada, is anyone concerned with Hudson? He's given up some home runs lately. We're gonna do a position by position, player by player grade for the first part of the season. We're going to spend like 2 minutes on every player on the team. So be on the lookout for that later this week. So I got that one planned up. We're talking about some Alex Vesia because like you mentioned, diving into the numbers, he's improved. Only one, D-Mac, best LA Dodgers YouTuber. I appreciate you. And also the best producer, my guy, Mr. Antonio to my left. We got Pablo. Dodgers really need to start thinking about re-signing Teoscar. That's what I said on yesterday's show. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a one-year thing because he's such a great fit for this team. I would love to see the Dodgers re-sign Teoscar Hernandez long-term. They can afford it, trust me. Mr. Midnight, oh, hell no to Jansen. We need to escape from California. Yeah, you don't want that California adventure. I see. J Bullet TC, I will be down with Jansen, but take him out of the closer's role. He'd be good as a middle reliever. Matty Man Dodge, let's be honest, how many of your prospects are going to pan out? Look, Matty Man Dodge, I mean, most of them don't. Okay, if you look at the percentages, 70% of them don't. I was talking to someone from Baseball America. That's what he told me. Okay, so yeah, you guys know I got to get t-shirts made for this. Parades over prospects. Okay, that is the mindset here, especially when you have prime players like Mookie and Freddie and Shohei Ohtani. But the same token, you got those guys for extended periods of time. And imagine if you had traded Pages for someone, right? Pages is someone who looks like he could be a future all-star. So you got to be selective if you want to maximize your window and have sustained winning, because that's just how you endure. So you got to be careful. You can't just trade them all, but you definitely have to make aggressive moves when you're addressing certain needs. But Bilal Cal says, when the Dodgers traded Josiah Gray or Keibert Ruiz to the Nationals, some liked it, some hated it. In the end, we're not crying, right? Nando 390, Dustin May will be this team's Mason Miller. That's a fire take. Hey, I told Dustin May, I said, hey, Dustin Mania coming in September, got a big smile on his face, so I'm very juiced about the possibility of him coming back and helping this team. Roy Estrada, D-Mac, regular season pitching is okay, but we need dogs in the playoffs. Look, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, those are two ace-level pitchers that we've never seen on the bump for LA in the postseason. So, like I said, I know we have a lot of PTSD, right? Post-traumatic San Diego from 2022. And then last year, you had the issue with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but those were different teams with different nucleuses. They've totally added key pieces that I think are going to change the complexion of this team in the postseason enough to have that success. We got Brian. Imagine a fully healthy bullpen with Phillips, Trinan, Gratterall, Kelly, Hudson, Brazier, Fireeisen, and I know there's some more options, but maybe a Dustin May. Conservative Zach, the Dodgers pitching rotation is going to dominate. I like that little fire take. It's a little comment of the show. We got Rico. I know it's early, but the Dodgers have 3 legitimate players who can win Rookie of the Year. They certainly do. I mean, Imanaga is having a great year with Chicago, but Andy Pages and Yoshinobu Yamamoto are certainly in that mix. Adrian Sanchez, who's ready for Walker's debut. So that really is the big story tonight. And we've broken Walker Buehler down. We've talked about his rehab starts. And yeah, rehab starts, it's not important, the results, right? Because of where they're pitching and the factors. And we know in Albuquerque, the way the ball plays, it's like it's like bowling with the bumpers on, right? The offense is high, right? Now, I will caution the optimism a little bit with, let's just see how Buehler handles pitching tonight for the first time since 2022. We're talking years, okay? So let's not put all the pressure in the world on Walker Buehler. Let's not give him the ball like this is game 163 or game 3 of the 2018 World Series, because he's a different pitcher. So the 3 things I want to see from Walker Buehler tonight in his first start in a couple years. First thing I want to see is command of the strike zone, okay? Early in his rehab starts, the command was off. He didn't have the feel for his breaking stuff. And if he's controlling the zone, even if he's not pumping 97, 98, you're going to see an effective version of Walker Buehler. So the first thing, of course, is command. It kind of goes without saying, but a little more in detail about that is the ability to work in the zone and get soft contact. I mean, the big difference between Buehler a couple years ago, he was throwing his four-seam fastball over 50% of the time. He was averaging 96 on that heater. That's not the Walker Buehler you're going to see today. Boo says low octane butane. I like that. And that's not a disparaging remark, right? I think you're seeing someone who is more of a pitcher than a thrower, right? He knows how to get big league hitters out. And the first thing with the command, I want to see him use that cutter in the zone on the edges and not catch too much of the plate. So you want to see that. And 2, I want to see the mindset of Buehler being reinvent yourself. Don't try to get back to the pitcher you were. Don't make the mistake that Noah Syndergaard did a couple years ago, where he was trying to chase velocity, where he was velocity reliant. He knew the only way he could be effective was throw that velocity at a 98, 99 mile per hour rate. That ain't happening, right? Thor wasn't throwing those thunderbolts anymore, right? So I think Buehler not trying to force that four-seam fastball or anything like that. Go with the secondary stuff more. Use that two-seam fastball as well. And I think that's going to be the big key, is not trying to get back to butane, reinvent yourself. That's the most important thing. And 3, for Walker Buehler, I think for me, it's don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just start the process tonight. Start the process of getting back to who you were, right? Trust the process. That to me is number 3. I said it earlier in the week. Hey, you're going against the Marlins, right? Towards the bottom in every single offensive category. It's like another rehab start, right? Hopefully. And I think for me, you have to recalibrate those expectations. If he is pitching as a number 3 and performing like a mid-rotation starter, that's a win. That is a major dub for this team this season. I think those are fair expectations. Give me mid-rotation. You're saying low-octane butane. It's a fire take right there. And for me, it's just, look, sure, it's not Bugatti Buehler anymore, but I think we're going to see an effective version of Walker Buehler. Remember, 2 years is a long time, right? You don't have the sticky stuff anymore, right? He was already pitching like that, and the spin rate was down, and the spin rate and the velocity is down. It's going to be a factor. But also, you got the sticky stuff is different. You don't have that. You also have the pitch clock. He hasn't even pitched the pitch clock. You're at the big league level. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's not put too much pressure. I'm never going to tell you how to fan, okay? If you want to go crazy and overreact, that's totally fine. But let's just take it one pitch at a time. And, hey, it's Buehler's day on, right? It's not Buehler's day off. He's back on the mound, and I couldn't be more excited just to see him back because he means a lot to this franchise. Kermit won $4.99. Greg Maddie's never needed Heat to be one of the best of all time. I mean, Greg Maddux. I mean, you're talking about command. You're talking about a pitcher that could put it wherever he wanted on any pitch, okay? Greg Maddux was generational. He was one of the best pitchers of all time. Command off the charts. I mean, it's Greg Maddux, okay? No one can expect to have that level of command. But, yeah, I mean, the point still remains, though. I mean, you don't have to be high velocity to have success. Okay, so we're going to end our show today with our high 5. That's my top 5 of the day. We're breaking down everything. It can be a top 5 anything. We call it the high 5 because the Dodgers invented the high 5. So we're doing top 5 plays of the week as we do every Monday. And coming in at number 5, we're going to do the B delay. They lost this game. They lost the game, but we still had Mike Hilton, the beekeeper who saved the day. Like I was saying, I wanted the fans to not chant beat LA, chant B D lay, B D lay. But yeah, they lost the game. It wasn't meant to be. Okay, I'll give myself a bruh for that. But still, look, we've seen a lot of delays. You're never going to see that. I want to give Mike Hilton a shout out because at least he gave us baseballs. That's coming in at number 5. Then coming in at number 4, no strikeouts. No strikeouts for the Dodgers. They did not strike out in a game last week, and it was the first time that had happened since August 28th, 2006. August 28th, 2006. He had 44 plate appearances. That was the most plate appearances in a game without going down swinging since the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles. So got to give the Dodgers a lot of credit for that win. I mean, August 28, 2006. That was a long, long time ago. Let's see who's in that box score. Let's see how many guys you can guess were in the lineup that day. The Dodgers, they end up winning that game, of course, and no strikeouts. You had Rafael Furcal batting leadoff at shortstop, Kenny Lofton in center batting in the 2-hole, Julio Lugo at the hot corner batting third, Nomar Garcia Parra batting cleanup, then followed by Jeff Kent at second, Andre Ether in left, Russell Martin behind the dish, and Jason Repko. Who remembers Jason Repko? Remember he came up in the minor leagues as a shortstop, and then Brad Penny on the mound. JD Drew pinch hit that night. Jonathan Broxton was on the mound. You had Brett Tomko. So 2006, that's how long it had been. And then coming in at number 3, how about Max Muncy?
3-1. Vince Muncy. Swatted the other way. Carrying really well. Back to the wall. It goes and it's gone. What in the world? That thing kept on flying. 3 home runs for Max Muncy.
How about Max Muncy, man? Max Muncy is proving once again he's perfect for the middle of the Dodgers order. He's hitting 262, has 8 home runs and a 157 weighted runs created plus, all with improved defense. I think this is the most complete version of Max Muncy at third base that we've ever seen. So stoked for his recent progress and 3 home runs. How about this, though? Maybe you just keep him in the lineup the next day, okay? Maybe for one day, you go against the day off, the platoon. I mean, yes, he's struggled against lefties, but maybe you could ride that hot hand. We got a $2 super chat from D-Max Pool Guy. I love it. I got 2.5 words for you. Blake effing Trinan. There you go.
Fire take.
Blake Trinan, man, doing his thing. We got Roy Estrada waiting until all 3 MV3 hit at the same time. Mookie in a small slump and Freeman off and on. Yeah, that's going to be absolute chaos for pitchers around the league. And then coming in at number 2, you got Shohei Ohtani passing Dave Roberts. Shohei Ohtani passing Dave Roberts for the most home runs ever for a Japanese-born Dodger.
I didn't know this is how it worked. Oh my goodness, there it goes down the line, and Ohtani hits it out and breaks the record. Sorry, Doc. Maybe you'll get a real car now.
I mean, Shohei, first of all, so he just knew he was going to homer that day. I mean, you can't imagine having that much confidence. I mean, Freddie Freeman went a whole month without hitting a home run. He ends up giving that model car, that Porsche, to Dave Roberts that day, knowing he was just going to hit a home run. That, to me, was what really stood out, how ridiculous it was. And I see people out there, why didn't he get him a real Porsche, right? Let's not forget, Shohei makes just $2 million a year, okay? He lost $16 million because his friends stole it from him, okay? He's on a budget right now. And I looked it up, too. It's a Porsche Taycan model car, and it was the cheapest one you could buy at $60. As a fellow cheap guy, I appreciate that. But, I mean, look at that. He gives Joe Kelly's wife a Porsche. He gives Dave Roberts that toy Porsche, and the real version starts at $101,000 and goes up to $231,000 for the 2025 Porsche Taycan. And I was there after the game, and it was hilarious. Shohei Ohtani was talking to us about the night he had. All of a sudden, Dave Roberts interrupted the presser with that model Porsche, and Ohtani was asked if he would give Dave Roberts a real version of that Porsche, and Ohtani responded, "Let's win the World Series, and then we'll see." So that tells me that vroom, vroom, Dave Roberts, you're going to get a new Porsche sometime around October or November. So I love to see that. And then coming in at number one, it's a two-parter. We're going to do double on this one. Shohei Ohtani's game-tying single in extras on Friday, and then the Andy Pages walk-off, the Dodgers' first walk-off of the season.
Center field. Taylor's coming home, and Ohtani has tied the game. Ball game. On the hand, shallow center field. Pages wins the game. His 4th hit of the night is a...
There you have it, man. First walk-off of the year for Andy Pages. First walk-off for the Dodgers, and this team is special. I'm predicting double-digit walk-offs this season. I think they ended with 12 walk-offs on the year, but Andy Pages with the first one. Ohtani coming through with runners in scoring position. 2 players that weren't on this Dodgers team last year. They're going to be big players this year. Of course, Ohtani is as big as it gets, but I think Pages is going to carve out a really nice role for this team, and he's someone that could be in the Rookie of the Year mix. But what a week for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And I want to end the show today with some predictions. How many innings and strikeouts and runs will Walker Buehler give up tonight in his first start since 2022? Ray Soto is getting us kicked off. He says Butane, 4 1/3, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. For me, I'm going 5. I'm going 5 innings. I think he goes 5. I'm going to be optimistic. Goes 5, gives up 2 runs, has 5 strikeouts. Tonio.
I'm going to say 4 2/3. And I don't know why. I hope it doesn't happen, but I feel like a homer is going to knock him out. I hate to say
I can see him giving up a bomb tonight.
Yeah.
I can see him giving up a bomb, but hey, like Butane has said it himself. He thinks that the adrenaline boost of being back in the bigs, back at Dodgers Stadium, is going to increase the velocity on that heater. I'm hoping that we experience that today and we see that today We got Diane Schroeder says 5 innings, 4 Ks. It's got some more. Let's see what else we got here. We got let's bump those. Let's put those predictions up here. We got 5 innings, 4 Ks from David E. Roy Estrada, Buehler, 2 runs, 2 walks, a strikeout, 4. I got him out having 3 walks. So I'm at 3 walks today. I think he's gonna work his. Actually, no, let's bump that down to 2. Okay, I think he's gonna have a little traffic. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, high pitch count. Let's not forget the defense has been so much better of late across the board. So I think that's going to be a factor tonight as well. 5 innings, 3 Ks. That's from David Sabatini. We got Roy Estrada. Then we got Annandale 189. What is the odd Shohei Ohtani? What are the odds that Shohei Ohtani wins a Triple Crown? I mean, you got to feel like they're pretty good. I mean, you get those RBI numbers up. We got Pablo, 5 innings, 2 runs. We got Darren, 3 2/3, 2 runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. Is there anyone out here who's just going to say he gets rocked just for fun? 5 innings, 4 Ks from Psycho. Over on YouTube, Will says 4 innings, 4 runs, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. King says 4 innings, 5 Ks. Brian S, 5 innings, 4 Ks, 3 runs, 2 walks. One Eye Dragon says, in Pajes we trust. John says 2 walks. Pablo says 3 innings, 2 runs. 275 vet. I don't care what Walker does for the Dodgers. I hope he succeeds for himself. It's a fire take. I like that. Go Blue IE, 4 runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 3 runs. Okay, let's do some walk-off shots here. A couple walk-off shots from you guys before we head out of this one. Got some more predictions. Sergio, 5 Ks and 5 innings and 4 Ks, no runs. It's the Marlins, guys. That's a fire take. Owens has the deepest start. Owen Roberts says 6 innings, 7 Ks, no runs. Moose thinks he's going to get rocked. The Gator Show, 3 innings, 3 Ks. Cesar, 2 innings, 69 runs allowed. See what you did right there. You're going to get it, bro. D-Mac gets rocked. He gets rocked for D-Mac. Okay. Buehler, free Jumbo Jacks. There we go from Will W. How about this? If he gets 10 Ks tonight and goes, okay, if he gets 10 Ks, I will do a shoey tomorrow. Gladly. I would do a butane. And I'm not even going to do alcohol. It'll be gas. It'll be butane gas. I'll just drink gas. Okay. So for sure, Pajes pays off. But walk-off shot here for me is I'm just so happy that he's back. Walker Buehler loves baseball. He loves pitching more than anyone in the sport. It's been a long road back. He wanted to come back in September to help this team win. He loves this organization. He loves his teammates. And I just can't wait to see that fire, that butane intensity and electricity on the mound. That's what I'm hoping to see tonight, is just little shades, little flashes of that butane that we saw a couple years ago. My walk-off shot is that, hey, butane is back. It's Buehler's day on. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Comment Siler Glass now down below. We're giving away the jersey tomorrow, and we'll talk about our next giveaway at 95K and the biggest one we've ever done at 100K. Super shout out to Tonio Taters over there. By the way, I want to give a shout out to his friend Dodger Daddies?
Dinger Daddies.
Dinger Daddies.
Eric the Read 4 on Instagram. Thanks for the footage, bro.
Hopefully this is how Buehler makes hitters look tonight. Hopefully this is... I mean, he'll pitch a perfect game, okay? This is the at-bat quality I want to see against Buehler tonight from the Marlins team, right? Araya's not on that team anymore, but that's going to do it, guys. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue.